record your scores. Okay, so it's very important you add a column where you record your scores. So now I titled that column quiz scores. So let's say for instance you have the activities you want to do. Okay, I want to study chapter 1, the start time, the end time, and okay. Then among all those other options, I want you to add to it um, quiz time, quiz scores. Now, why are you adding quiz scores? You'll discover that the material I shared with you, all right, at the end of every chapter, or at the end of every knowledge area, you discover that there is a quiz attached to it. Okay, and in that quiz attached to it, it is expected that you carry out that quiz immediately as you have finished studying that chapter. So what I also need is that you do that quiz and share your score in your sheet. All right, let's say for instance now you study chapter 1 or the elementary or the foundational. You came across the the quiz or the mock or exam, whatever is written there. Those quiz, you have to perform that quiz and record your score. All right. Yes, it is possible that yes, at first attempt you did not get a very good score. Don't worry about it. Don't let that trouble you. The moment you finish that topic, try the exercise or the quiz. All right, then when you are done with the quiz you will see the answer. Yes, so I expect you to have a writing material so that as you are studying you are writing. Okay, now when you get to that point, take your quiz, and now when you are now doing the exercise, take note of that exercise, carry out that exercise. And when you score, let's say for instance out of 20 you scored 10 or 5, don't let that bother you. Then make note of the reasons why you failed the extra 15. We call it knowledge gap. So you have to take note of the knowledge gap. Record it. Okay, I score 15. So you go to your table, your study plan for that particular topic or chapter you have studied. Then you are going to write there, oh, I scored 5. Then on your own study material, make note of the knowledge gap. Why did I score 5? Why did I score 20? So all those areas where you miss it, quickly make note of those areas. It is very, very important. So, which means we need to keep reviewing and I will be checking. Mr. Iberi also, you have not submitted your study plan. It's very important. You know, this is a professional class. I don't really need to be chasing you or pushing you to do that, but because I expect that you should do that because it is part of the activities that can bring out the best in your exams. I hope that is clear. Is it clear, please? Hello, Mr. Wale, is that clear? All right. Okay, so let's move on. So so far so good. Any question before we start? Any questions from the introductions? Okay, no questions. All right, so we want to start now with the project management fundamentals. We want to look at the framework. Okay, I want to look at the framework. What what? Okay, yes, Mr. Olawale, you raise up your hand. Okay, okay. Yes, yes, yes. You get the slide. But that shouldn't be a reason for you not to make notes of something. All right. Okay. Okay, so let's move on. The fundamentals of project management. Yes, let's what is project? Let's start from there. What is project? Yes, let's hear from Mr. Iberi. Mr. Iberi, what will you say a project is? Okay, a piece of work that one intends to do. All right. Okay. Okay. Lola, what about you? What is a project to you? Hello, Lola. I can't hear you. Okay, a piece of work that has a start date and an end date. Okay, whatever definition we have given, it is correct in from different perspective, but I would like you to understand that according to the Pimborg definition of what project is, we need to understand that a project is a temporary endeavor that we embark upon with the purpose of creating a unique product, services, or result. All right, is any endeavor, temporary endeavor that we embarked upon. Okay, so that endeavor you embarked upon, it could be any other form of endeavor like your work, house renovation, changing the painting of your apartment, whatever endeavor, oh, your birthday party that is coming up, or a graduation ceremony, or even this project management training class, whatever endeavor it is. But at the end of that endeavor, you are looking at creating a unique product, service, or result. That becomes a project. Now, you see that that definition look very simple and easy, but let's do a breakdown. There is every project has a time it will start, a time it will finish. So we can refer to that as temporary endeavor. So when we use the word temporary endeavor or the word temporary in this Pinbock definition of a project, it actually did not mean the duration. Oh, because it's temporary, we're going to have short duration. No, it actually means the time the project will take to start and the time it will take the project to finish. So from this definition, we can actually bring out three characteristics of a project. And the three characteristics are: number one, temporary, which means by temporary, um, Mr. Godwin, what's going on? Is your network bad? All right, so let's continue. By temporary, we simply means that the project or the endeavor or the work or the task or whatever assignment that have been assigned to you by your boss must have a starting time and what a finishing time. That is one characteristics. The number two characteristics is that the deliverable, the outcome, what you want to see, the value you want to get must be unique. So in unique in this case, in terms of the product, which is the outcome, or in terms of the service, or in terms of the result. Now you can see that the uniqueness is dependent on these three things. When we say product, we simply mean that the physical outcome. Like for instance, if you are constructing a road, at the end of that road construction, you're going to see a beautiful road, or a beautiful bridge, or a beautiful house. That becomes a unique product. Or maybe you are into cars, all right? You want to um, provide a new solar panel cars. At the end of the day, you're going to have a unique product which is physical, is tangible. Or in the case of service, oh, maybe you want to overhaul your processes. Okay, you want to overhaul your processes. Okay. Godwin, can you hear us, please? Hello, Godwin, can you hear us? Okay, so let's continue, please. Hello, can you all hear me, please? All right. So as I was trying to say, that let's say in the terms of service, you're trying to overhaul your processes, and you decide to bring in probably a professional consultant or an accountant or somebody who is good at risk and quality and is trying to overhaul the processes of your organization from beginning to the end. You see that that becomes a service. Or just like as we're having this training now, or you are conducting a training, that becomes a service. The outcome is always unique. Even if you keep conducting training from one organization to another, it's unique because you are dealing with different organizations. Or the result, you remember in the case of the I think the toll gate saga that happened. All right, the for Lagos State set up a seven-man panel committee. All right, what was the outcome of that project? The outcome of that project was to provide a result. So you discover that when the seven-man panel committee finished whatever assignment the governor gave them to do, they only submitted the document, which becomes a result. All right. So you see that every project must have a beginning date and an end date, which makes it temporary. Every project must have a unique outcome, which means by unique outcome, either a service or a product or result, something that have not been done before. Something that have not been done before. It becomes a unique outcome. Oh, it may be that you have used the same uh, process, the same staff, but it may likely be a different organization or a different stakeholders or a different location. So you see that all these are what makes the outcome unique. All right. Then the third characteristics you can also bring out from that definition of what a project is that progressive elaboration, which means there is room for continuous improvement. So if, for instance, you are working on a project today, it is not where you left it today you will start from tomorrow. So every day as you work on the project, there is always room to improve. So every day you keep building on what you did yesterday. You keep building on what you did yesterday. So that becomes what refers to as what? Progressive elaboration. Okay, so take note. These are the three characteristics of a project. And now, with these three characteristics, please take note. With these three characteristics, this is exactly what helps you as a project manager to especially if you are consulting, to actually know if a task or a work being assigned to you or a job being assigned to you is actually a project or operations. Okay, so which means your three characteristics must have a yes, which means you're going to ask yourself the 3 years question test. So what I mean by 3 years question test is that these three characteristics must have a yes as an answer. That is what determines or enable you to come to a conclusion that these tasks that have been assigned to you is actually a project, not an operation or operational work. So which means you're going to ask yourself this question: okay, this task assigned to me by my boss, does it have a beginning and end date? Okay, yes, it has a beginning and end date. Okay, so when we finish this project, what are the unique outcome we want to achieve? Okay, is this something we have done before? Okay, yes, we have a unique outcome. It's totally different. The location is different. The customer we are doing this project for is totally different from the one we did for last year or last week. So it's a unique outcome. Then also, would there be room for continuous improvement as we keep working on the project? Exactly. So when your answers are yes, 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 then you have a project. All right, is that clear? All right, so take note of that. So technically we can now say that a project, whatever task we are given, whatever endeavor we are given, so now the idea of thinking that a project must be mega, or what makes a project is dependent on the budget. Most often, what is going on with my network now? Hey, okay. Okay. The door dey open. Sorry, it seems like my network is just tripping off. I don't know why. This is this is abnormal. Okay, so as I was saying earlier, I was usually saying that it is not the size of the project or the size of the work assigned to you that actually determine if it is a project or not, or the budget. Oh, the amount of money involved is very that makes it a project. All right, please take note of that. So these three questions is actually what determine if it is a project. So you can see that there are some basic things that revolve around our project. All right, you see that whatever project you have embarked on in the past, even if it is a birthday project or a relocation project, is a project, or a housewarming project or building project or painting project. All these are different projects. Okay, like Lola in the in the design and creative industries. All these are different projects. So it doesn't have to be, oh, maybe you have to do a construction of road or build a big mansion. That's what makes it a project. All right. So all these are different projects. Okay. So what actually make them a project are those three characteristics. Now, you see that every project that you have embarked on, there is no way you will not talk about scope, what we want to do. There's no way you will not talk about time, the schedule. There's no way you will not talk about what you need to do it, your resources, either human or physical. There's no way you will not talk about quality, and there's no way you will not be targeting the unique outcome. Even here, you can also add budget. There's no way you will not talk about cost. So all these are the basic things that revolve around our project that we embarked on every day. So we must have to talk about the scope, what we want to do. We must have to talk about the schedule, when we want to do it. We must have to talk about the resources, what we need to do it. We must have to talk about the quality, the standard we will have to follow, and we must talk about the result, which is what? The unique outcome. So you see that whatever organization you find yourself, project actually drives changes. It is the project that transform or take your current state, the current state of an organization to a future state. So if, for instance, I am only located in one city and my customer base is about 200, and I sat down and I was thinking, yes, this is a new year, strategic sessions. What do I do to take my customer base from 200 to a minimum of 1,000? What do I do? That transition, what can bring about that transition from your taking your customer base from 200 to 1,000? You must embark on projects. So which means whatever valuable ideas you have coming up with, okay, I have to have presence online, I have to have physical presence in another state, all this will become a project. So project actually stand in between an organization transition from whatever state of business value they are to a future state of what they want to become. So what is then a business value? A business value automatically is actually, in a layman way, what will I get in return if I embark on this project? In a layman definition, which means as a stakeholder or as the owner of the project or as a director in that organization or as the product owner, you ask yourself, okay, this move, this initiative, this project I want to do, okay, what eventually will I gain? What will come to us as an organization? So that unique or that benefit that will come to the organization as a result of that project you are embarking on is what refers to as a business value. Excuse me, sir. Why are you talking about business value? I'm a project manager. Do I need to worry myself? The business team will have to worry about business value. No. Example, when we started this class, I introduced myself and I asked you a simple question. Why are you embarking on this course? Now, you may just think that yes, you just introduced yourself and stated some reasons why you're embarking on the course. And if you also remember our one-on-one call, I also asked you that question. I asked you, tell me about your background. Let me know about why you are going on this course. So that becomes a business value to me as a project manager. To you as the owner of the project or who is embarking on the project, you want to get a return. You've asked yourself, okay, if I get this training and I become satisfied, what will it bring to me? You have done that calculation yourself. You know what it will bring to you. That becomes a business value to you. But to me as a project manager, why do I need to know the business value of your own organization before embarking on the project? The reason is simply this, so that I can use it to plan in ensuring that all the requirements you provide to me must align with your business value. Please take note. as a project manager, how do I get to know, especially when you are working with different professionals? All right, I've seen project. Okay, when we get to that time, I will begin to talk about experience. I've worked in a project where you see different professionals who are even bigger and um, um, they are like we call them high rates. Okay, they are high guys in the society. All right, they are bigger than you in the project, but you are the one managing them. They earn better than you. They call the shots. All right. But you are the one managing them. So why do you need to know the business value? Is so that in line with your requirement you are providing, or the stakeholders are provided, because each of those stakeholders working with you may or can be biased. So by the time they begin to provide you with requirements that suit them and not the original intention of the project, then you can easily detect it. And that is why it is important. You must know the business value of that project. Take note, the business value is not requirement. The business value is what, excuse me, sir, this project you want to embark on, what benefit will it bring to you? Oh, for instance, this project I'm embarking on, I need to move my customer base from 200 to 800. The business value is that I want to own a large market share. I want to be able to reach out to customer, increase my profits and visibility. That becomes a business value. So which means whatever requirement and planning and scoping, scaling, and everything you will do must align with that business value. To you, as a project manager, that becomes your mirror for quickly checkmating whatever scoping that will be outside the business value. I hope that is clear. All right. Um, Wale, hope that is clear. All right. Please, it's very important, and that is why I'm laying emphasis on it. So the business value can be tangible or intangible. It, it can be tangible or intangible. It can be for brand recognition, it could be for goodwill, it could be for whatever, it could be for reputation management, whatever the business value is, it is your responsibility to note and understand the business value. All right, so far so good. We now know what a project is. We now know the characteristics of a project, and we now know how to determine if a task assigned to us is a project or not. And now we now know what a business value is and how important it is to the project manager. Now we want to look at operations. Operation in our, okay, I don't need to actually be stressing myself. I have professionals in the house. Yes, Lola, what is operation? Hello, Lola, are you there? All right. Okay. Godwin, do you agree with that? Okay. All right. That is very correct. All right. But I would also like you to take note of the keywords when we talk about operation, because I've come across questions where in the question, remember your questions in the exam are not going to be direct. Which of the following? No. All right. So remember your keyword: operations, ongoing, continuous, repetitive, regularly, annually, or daily. Yes, Wale. Olawale, please, can you speak up so that others can hear you clearly? Sorry. Yeah, it's better. Okay. So you are narrowing us to the the different angles or aspects where we can actually understand the operation. That's also very cool. But take note, all right. If you look at this definition, all right, I said that they involve works that is continuous without an end date. All right. But now take note, operation is to support the business system of the organization. Operation, just like as Wale was trying to explain now, taking note of the activities that is going on, the business, the essence of operation is to support the business system of the organization. That is the essence of operation. Because now, whatever project you embarked on, and when it's completed, the operation team will definitely ensure a continuous use of that particular unique result or unique output. So, but what happens is that operation is never ending, is ongoing, is repetitive, is annual, is continuous, is okay. Please take note. Those three, four words are very key. Okay, because I've seen questions where you'll be asked, "Oh, the work you are doing is on a regular basis," and they scatter the scenario and ask you to advise the organization. So all those things happens. Okay. Now, for yes, I am Godwin. Okay. Can operation give rise to a project? Yes, Lola, do you want to help us with that? Hello, Lola, are you there? Okay. Mr. Iberi, can we hear from you? Okay. Yes, to answer that question shortly and in a layman way, understand that operations, yes, can give birth to projects. Example, you you work in the bank, for example. All those tellers and front end officers, you see them attending to customer. If in the course of attending to customer, they are experiencing some challenges that is giving them difficulties in attending to customer, they will have to escalate. Now, in solving those challenges, automatically give birth to a project, which means, let's say for instance, they are having, maybe for instance, the application they are using to do their um, debit and credit is is becoming very difficult and is having issue, technical downtime and all that all the time. They may decide to embark on a project to change that application. They may decide to embark on a project to say, you know what, instead of waiting for the computer to boot up and the system is hanging, Let's use a POS to complete your transactions. So take note, operational activities, the challenge phase can give birth to projects. So in trying to solve those challenges, trying to look for process improvement um, strategies, doing it in a different way can give birth to a project. So that's also give birth to a project. I don't know if that's okay, Godwin. All right. So now, while we know the difference between project and operations, it's also very important you take notes for the purpose of exam that there are also some similarities between project and operations. Excuse me, what do you mean? What could be the similarities? All projects and operations are initiated, it's somebody's ideas, they are planned, they are executed, they are monitored and controlled, but the only difference is that it doesn't end, it's ongoing. Number two similarity is that both project and operation are performed by people. Number three similarities is that both project and operation are constrained also by limited resources. Okay, so please I would like you to take note of these little similarities. The only thing that makes it different is that a project and operation, one has a end date in mind while the others does not have an end date, because definitely in an operation you are going to plan. All right, you are going to plan, you are going to strategize, you are going to monitor the activities of the day, you are going to check if the records for today is they are balanced, they are fine. Oh, let's say for instance you are in the production industry now, you are producing Coca-Cola, you are going to ensure that the number of crates they ask you to produce every day is okay, the packaging is fine, everything is coming out fine. All those are monitoring, you're going to plan for it, you are going to execute it, you're going to initiate it, but it's ongoing. All right. So your first assignment is this series of tasks. Okay. Yes. Hold on. Is this series of tasks? All right. So what you are expected to do is to go through them and actually find out which one is a project or which one is operations. All right. You can see in this case I wrote regular work. So you're going to find out which one is a project and also which one is what operations. Okay, so you read from task 1 to 20. So at the end, you just put project, operations, then you submit. So when I share this slide, you pick it from page 21. You can see it on the screen, page 21. You do this and you submit. Okay, all right. Yes, Godwin. Okay, when we said limited resources, we are not just focusing on resources in terms of human. All right. We are looking at it in a more elaborate way. When we say resources, we are looking at capital. That is either financial now, okay, or your budget, your cost. Okay. Let's say, for instance, now operation, you need to continue to own gen to power the service, and there is no fuel scarcity. That becomes a constraint. And also your project, let's say you are working on a project that has to do with maybe a factor of light in or gen or fuel, or maybe you have, or maybe you have which project will I quickly use now? Let's say for instance you have a team of okay, you are working on a project, and in that project your team members will need light to execute their task, and you now decide to say, okay, let me get diesel or fuel, and you can't get fuel because of the cost implication, or maybe the amount of fuel you used to get is now totally different. That is cost implication. So you can see that limited resources in that case can be financial. It can be having the right technical know-how. It can be other relevant support or materials you need also. I hope that is clear, sir. Okay. So now, in addition to understanding what a project is, we have also discovered that it is also possible you find yourself in an organization where they embarked more on programs and portfolios. So now we will quickly look at the difference between programs and portfolio as it relates to project. What is a program? Yes, Godwin, what do you say a program is? Okay, okay, okay. Okay, Wally, what about you, please? Okay, yeah, in addition to that, all right, I would like you to also note, all right, that a program, yes, as you have said, is a group of projects, but take note, the key word in that definition is that a program is a group or a collection of related projects. Related projects, which means if you are in an environment where you are embarking on a collection of projects that are related, but we are managing that project in such a way that we want to obtain benefits by managing them together, which we will not automatically get if we decide to manage them individually. That becomes a program. Now, a program is managed to obtain business benefits. So now, if we rearrange that our explanation, we cannot say that a program is a group or a collection of related projects that is managed in a coordinated way to obtain business benefits. All right? And what is that business benefit? Why do they decide to manage them and they don't want to manage them individually? It's because they want to reduce costs. It's because of economy of scale. Buy 20, get 5 extra free. Economy of scale. But the most important reason, please take note for the purpose of exam, the most important reason for this benefit is to maximize resources. That is the most important reason for this benefit. Is because the organization is trying to manage all these different projects together so that they can maximize the resources. They don't want to spend much. They want to still use the same number of resources they have to be able to reach out to those different projects that they are working on. It becomes a program. And a program is managed by a program manager. All right. So under a program manager, you have different project managers. All right. So example is, for instance, now a construction of an a residential estate. All right. You see that in that estate, you are going to construct about 30, 50, 20 buildings. Each building is a project. Oh, you are going to do runways, walkways, um, landscaping, centralized water system. You're going to do rural electrification that will that will light up everywhere in that estate or residential area you are working on. You're going to ensure that there is a coordinated drainage system. All these are different projects, but the organization decide to manage them as a program so that they can obtain benefit. Do you understand that, sir? Is it clear? All right. So let's move on. Then what is now a portfolio? What do we say a portfolio is? Yes, Mr. Iberi, what is a portfolio? In your own word. Yes, go on. Uh, is that all? Okay. Wale, what about you? Hello? Can you hear me? Hello? Please, let's just have 5 minutes break. Let me change my network, please. Okay, please let's go on. Why I'm also trying to swap the network so I will not waste too much time. All right, I don't know if that was okay. Yeah, I don't want us to spend all the time here. I just want this class mass, just 2 hours, just 2 hours, please, just to calm ourselves down. All right, portfolio. What is portfolio management all about? Or when we talk about portfolio as a whole, what actually are we looking at? Or what actually is our focus? All right, in terms of portfolio, what are we looking at? I would like you to know that when we define that program is a collection of projects, okay, I would also like you to note that in a case of portfolio, it can be referred to as what? A collection of projects or program. All right. You see the logic now. Program, or in case the situation whereby you did not see programs, and they now also say it's a collection of projects and any other additional work managed together. But the essence of a portfolio, take note, is that it is a collection of program or projects that are managed together to obtain strategic business objective. Their strategic business objective may just be brand recognition. It may not necessarily be to make profit. Please take note. So, for instance, now as an organization, you are also your organization is into your organization is doing several things. For instance, a practical example of such is that your organization is set up this year that, oh, what we want to do is that, oh, this scarcity in the land is too much. Okay, we're going to set up an NGO to meet the particular set of people in the society so that we can reach out to their needs. That is a different project. Oh, We want to make sure we focus on product improvement in our industry. We want to increase our variety, the product line from 2 to 4, 5. That is a different project. Oh, we want to also ensure that our investment and getting of stakeholders to invest more in our, that is a different project. But you discover that what makes portfolio different from a program is that they are not related. Did you get that trick, please? Hello, are you there? All right. So take note of that. So a portfolio is a collection of different programs that we embarked upon that are not related. While in the case of a program, those different projects are related. But in the case of portfolio, they are not related. Are we together? So please take note of that scenario. All right. So they are not related. So now let's move on. Now we know what a program is and we know what portfolio also is. Now I want you to let's do this exercise. Oh, sorry. Let's share this. Let me share the slide. Sorry. So now we know what a program is, and now we know what portfolio is. So now let's do this exercise. Yes, I can hear you. Go on. Exactly. Exactly. That is very correct. All right. Yes, that is very, very correct. For looking at it from that perspective, that is absolutely correct. Okay, so we can see it from that perspective also. Okay, that makes sense. So now let's look at what we have on the screen. What will you say is the problem? Let's look at this case study. Yes, Mr. Iberi, let's can you look at that case study? What do you think is the problem? Can you read it out for us, sir? Hello, Mr. Iberi, are you there? Hello, Mr. Iberi, are you there? Yes, we can hear you. Go on. Yes. What do you think is the problem, sir? Okay. Why you think about it, Mr. Godwin? What do you think is the problem? What do you see from this case? Hello, Godwin, are you there? Yes. What do you think is the problem? Okay. Mr. Wale, what about you? Exactly. Yes, Mr. Ebere, you want to say something now? All right. That's great that we're able to detect that. All right. You discover that the firm at the initial stage is not even set up to be is not a project firm. They just decide to embark on a project. Just like Wale said, they don't know what to do, which means the roles are not clear, right? What is expected is not clear. The procedures, everything about that particular project was not well laid out at the beginning. So the scoping of the project wasn't properly done, and what is expected for them to do, and several other things, which also lead us to the plan and lead us to why project management. So, what is now project management? In a layman definition, in one of my previous class, someone said it's managing of projects. Now, project management is simply the management of project. Alright. Well, in other ways we look at it, that is true. But in this case, is more than just what we think it is. All right. Because there is going to be more application of knowledge, you can see. So let's look at the Pinbock definition of what project management is. Project management is the application of knowledge, skills, tools, and techniques to project activities to meet the project requirements. All right, I will spend some time here to break this down. Now, I want you to discover that part of the reason why you are having this class is to get knowledge, is to get skills, is to know some of the tools and techniques that we can easily use, and so that at the end of the day we can meet the requirement. Now, we also said earlier that every projects are unique. So because of their uniqueness, it simply means that it is technically going to be different when we apply a certain knowledge to project A, and apply a different knowledge to project B, and apply a different knowledge to project C. So you see that all these different projects. Hello, Mr. Godwin, are you saying something? Okay, so you observe that all these different projects, you are going to apply your knowledge, skills, tools, and techniques to what? To the project activities. What do you mean by the project activities, sir? The project activities are the things you want to do in the project. So which means every industry, as it relates to project management, they are what we refer to as the activities. Which simply says that when Lola was giving us her introduction, she told us that she's in the design industries. So which means the project activities in the design industry is different from the project activities in the pharmaceutical industry. Is different from the project activities in the medical industries. Is different from the project activities in the fintech space. So now, which means what we need to know. Oh, my network, what is wrong? My network want to embarrass me. Hey, I don't know why all this right today now. Sorry, please bear with my network inefficiency.
No, no wahala.
Don't worry.
It's okay.
Don't worry.
It's okay.
Don't worry.
Uh,
You keep switching from one network to another. Okay. So, back to what I was trying to say earlier, that each industries have different project activities. So, but what is constant? What is constant is that you, as the project manager, whatever industry you may decide to find yourself later in the future, you have the knowledge, you have the skills, you have the tools and techniques that you can apply to any of the project activities on that project. Remember, it is the project activities that actually defines the completion of the work. If I ask you now, okay, what do I need to do to set up a medical laboratory? All those series of things that I need to do step by step are referred to as the project activities. The tools and techniques that I will apply as a project manager in achieving that to meet requirements is project management. So which means in the space of project management or in the project management field, irrespective of whatever sector you find yourself, all that I need you to focus on is getting the knowledge, skills, tools, and technique. If you can understand that, you are good to go. So that is why if you find yourself in the design space or in the creative industry or in the pharmaceutical or in the fintech space or in the NGO space, you know the knowledge to apply to those project activities. Do you get that now? Hope that is clear. Now, in with that understanding, those project activities that you are applying the knowledge to is so that at the end of the day you meet the project requirement. Who gives the project requirement? The project requirement automatically comes from the customer or the owner of the project, or technically the stakeholders involved in the project. All these we can refer to them as the set of people who provides the project requirement. But when we get there, we will talk more and elaborate more when we get there. But this is step by step. The project management is the application of knowledge, which we are going to ensure we dish and we explain that concept very well throughout this class. All the techniques, the skills that you need to know for any project activities is very key. Then now, if you look at the project management space, you see that according to the PMBOK, we have about 49 project management processes, and they are categorized into 5 process groups. 49 project management processes categorized into 5 process groups. Don't let that scare you. Just like Wale said, that is very is you need to be familiar with the terms and use is very wide and all that. Yes, I agree. It's very wide, and we'll take it step by step, and it will become let's say easy for you to apply in your field. And that is one of the objectives of this class. So what are the process? So we have what refers to as process group and 49 project management process. I take that again. The project management, we have 49 project management processes. So which means in managing our project, there are 49 project management processes we can use. But that 49 project management process can be classified under 5 process group. So what is a process group? Or a process is a related activities, actions that we need to do to get a result. So those actions are in 5 process group. Example, you ask yourself, okay, this project now, what do I need to do to start the project? That is initiate. So the project management processes that PMI have brought to us is that we're going to look at, okay, if I want to start this project, what did PMI recommend are the project management process that I must follow in order to start a project? What are those things I must do first when I need to start a project? So you can see the different now. Process group are the process category. Project management process are the application category. So which means under initiating, what do I actually need to do? What knowledge do I need to apply there? Or what skills do I need to use there? Or what technique do I need to use to initiate my project now? Oh, you want to initiate a, let's say, a new project or even a house renovation project, for example. What do I need to do to initiate? Okay, I need to write down um, my I need to write down what it will take me. I need to write down who I will get to. Do I need to collect approval from anybody to renovate this house? Who do I need to inform? Who do I need to bring on board? Okay, to initiate this project, who do I need to discuss with? For example, if you are renovating your own house, at that initial stage, the project management process is that you need to have an official document to start that renovation. You need to bring your stakeholders on board and discuss with your stakeholders. Those are the two things you do under initiating a project as a project manager. So which means if I'm renovating my house, for example, I need to tell my wife because she's a very key stakeholders. Oh, if I have children, I need to inform them because they will help me to move things from one place to another. If not, I will misplace some documents and they will not help me to look for it. So I would be able. So why do I need to? We'll get there. Just take it easy, step by step. I'm just trying to throw more light on that. Why do I need to know all these processes? So that when we go back to the definition of what project management is, you will know which of the knowledge to apply. Hello, do you get that? Excuse me, sir. Is it all this knowledge that we apply, this 49 project management process that we apply for even a birthday project or a house renovation project or a painting of house project or a water setup project? Or is that the same? No. And that is why this process is applied only to what suits the project activities. I just hope this is clear. Do you get all these things?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, all right. Lola, can I just hear your voice? Let me know you're with us. Hello, Lola.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
great, great. Thank you.
Thank
Okay, so now I've just thrown light on initiating. So let's discuss what do you think in an everyday project? These are the five process group. Let me ask. Okay, let me ask. All right, that's great, Lola. All right, let me ask. Okay, let me ask Lola now. What do you do when you are planning for your projects? Let's say, for instance, the project. Okay, let's take an example. Let's say the project now is you are trying to. Okay, Lola is a designer. All right, let's say you want to put a new face. You want to put a new face to your apartment. You want to give it a new look. All right. So you want to give the project now is to give your apartment a new look. Now, we've said that in managing that project, it has to pass through five process groups. And we said that the first thing is that you ask yourself, what do I need to do to initiate this? Then the second thing now is planning. Yes. So Lola, let's hear from you. What will you do to plan? What are the activities you have to do when you are planning a project? What do you mean? What do you understand by planning in this context? Take note. Oh, I said a new look. It could be painting, putting a flower vase in some location, putting some wall art, putting some wall design, and other little things. So it's not just only painting. All right. So what will you do in this case? Wow. 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 That is very interesting. Yes. Godwin. Yes. Go on.
requirements the owner of the project are required for also attach cost quality. Then he is the one that will also say, okay, this project I want to do now, what are the risks that will come out of it? What are the risk? Is there risk that we will not make profit at the end of it based on the requirement and the cost of material? Is there going to be inflation in the 6 months? What do I believe there's an inflation going to be? Is there any employees that make the material prices change? Then the project will still change amounts. Or is going to be fixed cost or fixed sum project? So he is the one that will take charge of it, and then he's still going to say, okay, how do we report to, how do we pass information to the person that's in charge of, like the owner, the client, the stakeholder of this project? And then what are the resources? Who are the experts that will bring in, or people that are good at the work, like the painters, the screeners, the people that will do electricities, plumbing, and the rest who are also project maintenance. How do we also ensure that by doing this work, who are the people that this work will affect? Are we going to bring out the robots from the building and we're going to put it on the road? How is it going to affect people? How do we take this thing? Should we just bring it out and move it to the road because there's space or there's no space in the road? So, in addition to what I have said, these are some of the things we do by ensuring that at the end, after all these things, the company is making profit. Thank you.
Wow. All right. That's also a very good one. Thank you very much. So you see that from these explanations on the process group, you see that it actually make your work easy. So if, for instance, I'm new to project management, all I just need to do, okay, let me not say I'm new to project management. Let's say I'm new to that sector. Oh, like for instance, now you want to move from one sector to another sector, from one field to another field. I'm new. The secret is that follow the process group. Did you get that secret? Just first and foremost, agree within yourself that okay, I'm going to follow the process group. What do I need to do to initiate the project? What do I need to do to plan the project? What are the things I need to do to get this plan right? What are the executing strategy I want to use? How do I intend to monitor and control this project? And how will I close out? So you see that this automatically, first and foremost, give you a guide on how to manage any project. All right. I don't want to be more elaborate here because when we get to each of those, like Godwin was mentioning, all those different aspects, you see that it covers all the things that I mentioned earlier, things that revolve around projects, where you begin to look out for the stakeholders, you begin to look out for how you're going to do procurement, begin to look out for the cost implication, begin to look out for the risk involved, you begin to look out for the scheduling and also the scoping of what you need to do. So all those things are what we refers to as the different aspects of the project. And in our test, we refer to it as what knowledge area. So why we refer to it as knowledge area is because we want to dig more into each aspect of those areas so that when you're dealing with stakeholders, you will know what to do in dealing with stakeholders. We are dealing on resource management. You know what to do to deal and ensure that your resources are working as expected. Okay, so in managing a project, you see that basically everything we've said covers this aspect. All right, you must get to identify your requirements, addressing stakeholders' needs, ensure that there is a good communication, ensure that you are meeting those requirements and all that. But now, that being said, those are plenty grammar. Now, I would like us to talk about some few things as regard balancing of competing constraints. I want you to listen to this as project managers in whatever field. This aspect of the project is is unknown to some stakeholders or to the customer. But you discover this is the aspect of the project that gives you more headache. Why? Because you need to balance those competing constraints. Now, I want you to write in your notes. In your notes, you draw a triangle. We call it the triple triangle. At the edge of each of those triangles, all right, triangle have three edges. Mr. Iberi, can you still remember a triangle?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
With a teenage. Yes.
Adult education, my brother. All right, Mr. Iberi. All right, you draw a triangle with the three edge. Top of the edge, you write scope. Okay. Then at the other edge, you write cost. And at the third edge, you write schedule. Take note. I did not use the word time, which means the word time technically does not exist in PMP. For your exam purpose, oh, hello. But in your normal daily interaction with people, you can say, what is the time? No, timeline. No, technically, the right word is what? Schedule. Okay. All right. Take note. So in case maybe among your options in exam, you now come time management, effective management of time. That word time management is wrong. Why? Because it is in the previous edition of the pinball guide, and it has been it's no longer valid anymore. So the valid term is what? Schedule. So that is the talent triangle, the triple triangle. Then at the middle you write quality. At the middle you write quality. All right. We refer to that as a triple triangle. Now under it we want to define a constraint. What is a constraint? In a layman language, anything that limits your ability to perform your task becomes a constraint. Anything that will limit your ability, that will limit you being able to exercise your full project knowledge on your project, anything at all that can limit the project manager's ability to fulfill a task becomes a constraint. Okay? An example of a constraint can become scope, can become quality. Take note of that. Can become budget. Example, or resources. Let's break it down. Example, you like, let's say for instance now in Lolafi, he meets a customer that wants to do a project, and after the wonderful scoping of what he wants to do, the customer will not tell Lola that, you know what, please, I want you to do this project under a strict budget. Oh. I know that what I want is big, is plenty, but I don't have enough money. So I want you to manage this money that I will give to you to achieve this project. So it simply means that that aspect of the budget is going to limit Lola for being effective in managing that project. It becomes a constraint. Do you get that example now? All right. So that is what a constraint is in a project. So that is why you can see in this slide we have examples of different constraints here. Okay. Now we have mentioned the triple triangle. We have mentioned what a constraint is, an example of constraint. Now, This is one aspect of your work that people don't see, balancing competing constraints. Excuse me, sir, what do you mean by competing constraint? Take note. You look at that talent triangle or the triple triangle you drew. If there is any limitation in budget, automatically is going to affect scoping and scheduling. Or peradventure, there is any constraint in scope, is going to affect cost and schedule and eventually affect the quality, which is in the middle. So, which means in the issue of balancing constraint, project managers, you must at all time check the impact. Please, if you can be writing all these things down, it's very important. You must at all time check the impact of a constraint to every other constraint. Example, just like in the case of a project, like the way Lola gave us that example, and the customer came later and said, you know what? Yes, I told you to do screening in the bedroom alone. Okay, I don't think I want you to do everywhere, both the sitting room and the children room and this and that. That adjustment alone will definitely have impact on any other constraint, which we have mentioned, the scope. So adjustment in scope will automatically have impact in your schedule. That is why if you've already planned 5 days to finish painting and the customer came and said, I want you to also paint the sitting room, it simply means that the 5 days you have budgeted or you have put as your timeline automatically will not be feasible, it will adjust. Which also means that the cost implication for painting just the rooms and now adding sitting room will definitely change. That is how important it is to you as a project manager to keep balancing competing constraints. So, which means an adjustment in one constraint automatically affects every other constraint. So, because that is a proof point, you must balance each of your constraints. So, if a customer comes to you and says, you know what, you are about to finish the project, you know what, we just realized that this, that, can we, before you say yes, we can, yes, it's feasible, yes, it's possible, sir, project managers, you must go back and check and balance the constraint. Because we have seen several projects being abandoned because of lack of balancing of constraint. We have seen several reputation damage because of lack of balancing of constraint. We have seen several project managers lack and lose businesses, no referrals because of lack of balancing constraints. We have seen businesses go to litigation point because of lack of balancing constraint. So which means technically you must, irrespective of whatever, other small project, big project, you must balance your constraint, which means you must do a regular check. Okay, this will affect this. Okay, if it affects this, what is the impact? You must know. So that before you now finally make your decision, you advise the customer or whoever is in charge as a management. Is this clear? Yes, go on, Godwin. Let's hear you.
So now it's clear to me, but my how do you balance the constraints? See that, for example, I'm just an example now. A customer or a client changes the scope of work. He wants to do a three-bedroom flat after the planning and everything, he changes it to four. So you see now that the schedule and the cost is affected. So how do you balance that? How do you, I don't know, so how do you balance the constraints? Now you asking for more money, more time. So what do you
Okay, all right. Okay. When we say balance, I'm not talking of balance sheet like when we say you want to do a regular inflow and outflow so that you no. In this context, what I actually mean is that you as a project manager, when we say balancing of constraint, is that you must check the impact of whatever adjustment that is happening in your project to every other constraints you have in your project. That is what we mean. So, which means either you are using whatever project management tool you are using or whatever document you are using, you must get to the point whereby if you receive an urgent call that there's going to be an urgent this, an urgent that, before you agree to it, you are in the position to balance that constraint, finding out the impact of what that request, that adjustment will have on the entire project and advise the organization to go ahead. Do you understand? Yes.
Might be a kind of exhausting. And so there will be murmuring and all that. How would you solve their problems as well? I think that's what he was asking. Do you know what to do?
Okay.
Because the scope has changed automatically. And so time factor to finish the project has changed as well. So
Okay.
as the project manager who is taking the job, what would you do?
All
So
right.
the rest of it,
All
as
right.
for that,
Just okay. Just hold on. Let's hear from Wale. I will answer that question together. Okay. All right. It's clear. Now, let me give you another scenario. It may not just be only in form of scoping. All right. Example. Um, let's say you are working on a project and the you got to a point and the person who is the customer, now let's say the customer suddenly comes to you and told you that, you know what, I don't think I will be able to, there's no more money to spend for this project. All right. So whatever you have, I just want you to manage it. It will have an impact on this scope of work to be done. It will have an impact on the resources you will bring on board or that is already on board that you are working with. It will have an impact on the delivery time of the project. All these things will have an impact. Now, it is your responsibility to know the impact it will have. So, it can be in form of performing an analysis. Either you want to quantify it to see the impact. So, if, for instance, in the area of scoping, they are bringing more additional work or more requirement on board, you must check the impact it will have on other constraint before you agree. Excuse me, sir. Especially, okay, you may be working in an organization where you are a project manager in terms of documentation, but the management say they are the one that tell you what to do. Yes, it happens. We'll discuss that when we get to that point. In that case, they can go ahead and tell you, do it. Don't worry about the impact. They will take care of it. That one is agreed. But we are talking about in a situation whereby you are managing a project for a customer and the customer is bringing more requirement. What we are saying is that you have to first and foremost check the impact it will have. If that requirement is just an ordinary adjustment that will be done in line with what you're already doing, it will not bring more resources, or it will not make you to spend more in getting resources, it will not increase the timeline, it will not do anything negative to the project, then you are good to go. Quickly make that change. But the point is that you have done your analysis, you have done the impact, you have investigated and evaluated that it will not have impact. Do you get now? So the point now is that you must investigate first. Check, is this thing going to have impact? Is it going to bring us to the point whereby we will need more resources? Is it going to make us get to the point whereby we will need more money? That is why we are saying that you must check that impact so that you can ask, okay, yes, sir, this is the result. Okay, yes, sir. Embarking on this project, it will need us to get two additional resources. It will need us to buy more material. It will need us to do so. Buying more material, getting additional resources will definitely add on the cost. And also, sir, we will not be able to finish at that agreed timeline, but we want to do this. Maybe we'll add 2 extra week or 1 extra month to achieve that. Oh, sir, it will need us to get an approval and licenses to take extra 5 months. That is what we are saying. But the point now is that when you don't do that and just it is normal, let it go, it begins to affect you, the project manager, in terms of your competencies, in terms of your reputations, in terms of other things that is becomes personal to you. Because when a project fails, they don't point to the organization. They don't point to the person that brought the extra requirement. They point to you who is managing the project. Do you get my explanation now, please?
Yes.
Wally, what about you? I don't was I able to answer your question? So
Yes.
if we go back to Godwin's question when he said, okay, what do we do? Yes, what you should do is to now advise the organization on the impact of what that change or constraint will have on others. Sir, you said now that the there is increase in cost of purchasing resources and all that. It's going to affect your budget. So this is the implication. So we need to downsize or we need to do this or we need or if it's an increase in scope of work. So because of this increase in scope of work, I think we will need a technical person that will handle this. Then also we need to be able to seek approval. We need to get the material. Why are you telling him or her these things? Because you have checked and calculated the impact it will have. Do you not get now? So whatever reasons you will give to the person that this constraint will actually affect these other things, it is because you have done the impact analysis. Hello, is that clear, please? Hello,
Yes. Yes.
Godwin, what about you? Are you there? Hello, Godwin, are you there? Hello, Godwin, are you there? Okay, so let's move on. This is past 2 hours. I hope we are not tired. But even if we are not tired, this class is not supposed to be all jam packing. We have an adult education person in the house, so we need to give consider. All right. So looking at what we have on the screen now, we've talked about this. Uh, I think the next thing we'll do. Okay, let's stop here. All right, let's stop here. So in our next class tomorrow, 8 p.m. Please, let's be early. 8 p.m. tomorrow in the evening. I think that will be is convenient for you, Lola. All right, no problem. Okay. All right. So yes, 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 yes. I will do that. Yes. At the end of the class tomorrow, at the end of this fundamental class tomorrow, by the time we finish this class, I will share the slide with. All right. Okay. So thank you guys. See you tomorrow by 8 p.m. Nigeria time. All right.